Hey, what's up guys, it's Teardown here. Welcome to my first stage light review. Today we're going to be reviewing the 86 RGB LED PAR can from eBay. I bought this as a test dummy to see how well they work, and I was actually quite amazed by these little things. And I do plan to buy 16 of them total to do some kind of a chasing effect across the front of my drones. Now, let's go ahead and give you an in-depth look at this little unit and let you see what it's all about. It is ran by 86 10mm diodes, 44 red, 21 green, and 21 blue. It has DMX input and output. It has your 10 dip switches for DMX controlling and independent functional controls as well. And it has your typical power cord. It's a 2-prong cord, and it's got your fuse block. And it's a typical round fuse, you know, typical tube-like glass fuse, but it's good. And the only flaw that I see with this unit is the power cord itself. It's a fair bit on the flimsy side, but this unit only consuming 25 watts of power is okay. But I would have preferred this be a 3-prong unit to ground the casing. However, it's not. It's just a 2-prong, but that's okay. And unfortunately, the concept they have to hold the cable in place here is a little bit on the easy to tear side, and it can strip the wiring on the outside. And this is a dual shielded wire. By that I mean it's got your outside shield and the wires on the inside are shielded separated from each other. So it's kind of nice. So it's not just a cheap ass cable. Alright, well, looking more at the unit, it's in an aluminum case, which is very nice. It's a very firm aluminum case. I've dropped it intentionally to see what it's capable of, and when you tap the unit there's a little bit of a vibration because of the way the board is designed, and I will show you that here in a minute as I tear it apart. And it's got a nice firm bracket that you can basically mount quite a bit of weight off of, but it's just designed to hold this light. So the bracket is definitely not going to be a failing point in this unit. Now the wing bolts that's supplied by the unit for the unit are actually complete with a rubber housing, and they also have a rubber washer that goes between the bracket and the shell's fixture, or the fixture shell, so that way whenever you tighten it, it does not just come loose on you and easily flex or move. You can shake it pretty good, it ain't going nowhere. It's not a moving head, but so be it. Alright, well, on the front of the unit you have your plastic case, which is nice because it keeps you from touching the diodes while in operation. Because even though LEDs do not emit a lot of heat, when you touch the units they can be very hot, and that would not be very good. It can burn your skin probably, depending on how sensitive your skin is. Alright, so let's turn this unit on. You know, the back of the unit, of course, like I said, you got your switches and all this stuff for independent functionality, and it is in sound activated mode as we speak. And unfortunately, it's a little too sensitive for my liking, but I don't plan to ever use this in sound activated mode just for that very reason. Now you can slave these units together, I believe, and with that you can do all kinds of neat stuff with having one unit controlling all the others, but that's not my intention. Now, the neat thing with DMX these days is you can chain all your lights together and just assign them to different channels. It don't matter where your light is on the rig, it's taken care of. Now as you can see, it's sound activated, and it's a really bright unit. I'm shining it right at the camera right now so you can kind of see it. But I'm going to keep it kind of away from the camera as I do the video because it's just easier to deal with. Okay, now I'm going to turn some of these dip switches on, and the first 3 dip switches, 1, 2, and 3, control your brightness of your red. I'm going to go ahead and shine the camera. I know it's kind of bad for your eyes, but it's a computer screen, you'll be alright. So there's your dimmest red, and then you can just add, as you go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you know, 1, 2, and 3 for your reds. Then 4, 5, and 6 for your greens. It just starts giving you a yellow color. And then 7, 8 for your blues. And then 9, whenever you turn on 9 with all the other switches in, it does a color flashing. Now here's some neat other features that this thing has. You can turn off dip switch 1. It gives you a slow strobe with all the other dip switches on. And then when you turn off dip switch 2, it gives you a green and blue flashing effect, but that's probably because I got the wrong switch on. Yeah, there's 3. These dip switches are tiny, and that's what I don't like about them. So let's turn on dip switch 2. As you can see, it's a really, really fast strobing effect. The camera's probably not picking it up worth the shit, but it is a very fast strobe. It's almost aggravating, to be honest with you. Okay, and another feature this thing has is turning off all the dip switches, and except for number 9, and you get a color fading effect. And that's a pretty neat little feature too for like up lighting and stuff like that, if you want to use it for this application. But I use it on my band, like I said, and I don't use this feature with this light, so I usually don't even use the sound activated feature. I basically only use the solid colors or that. So yeah. Okay, now that you've seen the unit actually function, let's tear it apart and see what it looks like inside. It's not very difficult to do. There's only 4 Phillips head screws here on the back of the unit that hold the entire combination of stuff together. And then I will also show you guys what's causing the vibration inside of it whenever you tap the unit, which could also be an issue with why its sound activation is so sensitive. Now, I don't know if that's intentionally the case, because it could have been a design flaw, but like I said, I don't use the sound activation, so I could care less. Now, there are ways to modify the sound activation by finding the microphone and covering it. And the more you cover it, obviously, the less sensitive your sound activation will be. But I don't plan to do all that. So, yeah. Okay, so let's tear this. We got the 4 screws out. So let's pull the casing out. Let's pull this unit out. And huzzah, there it is. That's exactly why it vibrates like it does, because this is on a bolted, it's just held on a couple of screws here on the front, as you can see. And it holds on the LEDs, which are all soldered straight to a circuit board, which is really nice. And the LED board can actually be removed and unclipped, and it disconnects with this little 4-pin prong right here. And you can take this and go stick something, do whatever the hell else you want with it, because it's 86 RGB LEDs with a 4-pin connector. And then inside here is where you have all your electronic gadgets and gizmos and yada 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 yada, blah 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 blah. See, the wiring on here is actually pretty good. It's not horrid. There's your DMX jacks, and you can see they're pretty firm. And it has its own little control board here. I don't know how well you can see it in the camera, but it's got its own little control board here and everything. And there's your fuse, there's your input. As you can see, your wiring right here is pretty firm. It's not horribly soldered or nothing like that. It's really well done, I think, anyways. So, I mean, of course, I don't sit here and just go and see what kind of destruction I can apply to my, materials and equipment. I spend money on it. I want it to last. I don't care how cheap or expensive it is. And this being a test bench unit, I'm still going to try to take care of it the best I can, because it may be the one that saves my life one day as far as lighting goes. It might be the only light I might have one day. You just never know what's going to happen in this world. So, yeah, with that having been said, I'm putting this unit back together. And this unit is definitely a really good purchase for anybody who's looking to get started on some budget DJ or band lighting or any kind of uplighting budget style. And I have also purchased larger 127mm LED PAR cans, and I purchased 8 of those just on the flop, just from the video reviews themselves that I've seen. And I will give you a video review of those, as well as a Chauvet Derby Effects. And I also have an American DJ X-Scan LED, and you will be seeing reviews of those units as well. So I hope you find this review helpful, and again, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comments below about its functionality, its operation, or anything like that. And for those of you who are curious on the other products, feel free to hit that subscribe button. I also do have more drum covers coming up, and I do plan to put together a nice little lighting rig for just doing drum covers. It would be something simple, just like a couple of PAR cans on a stick or something, I don't know, but just keep it simple and keep it fun, just something to kind of add to the lighting show, because of course, who's going to want to watch a stereo? You can do that at home, you just look right at it. But anyways, I hope you guys find this review helpful, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask me, and I will be happy to answer them. Alright guys, this is G signing out as I put this unit back together. Peace.